We all set? Nope, not yet. Good morning, everyone, and happy Friday. Haley from Breathe. I'm the new mental health therapist here, and I wanted to talk to you all today a little bit about the idea of healing from within. Um, so a big thing here at Breathe is the idea that you already have the answers. We just know the questions to ask in assisting that optimal way of living. So every person has ways of functioning. It just may not be serving you anymore. So I believe that my role as a therapist is to meet you where you're at on your journey, to empower and guide you through the process of further getting to know yourself and healing from the inside out. Um, so another way of thinking about this is like we naturally have ways of breathing, thinking, feeling. We have responses every day to things. You just may be noticing that those automatic ways of functioning aren't serving you anymore. So ways that you might be noticing this are like you can get signals in your body like physically, so headaches, stomach aches, muscle tension. You may be having digestive issues, lots of fatigue, or even emotionally. So you may be more responsive, especially in this time, or more reactive when we're feeling out of control. That can show up in like irritability to everyday situations that you may normally not feel like you're um, irritable or sensitive to. So, we're wanting to build the awareness to help us recognize what we need to do to make this shift in our response. So, some tools that you can use related to anxiety and stress would first be like breathing. So, I know that if for all of you who have been to here to Breathe for physical therapy, I know that a big thing that they talk about here is breathing. So we're wanting to focus on our breath, which can help us to calm our anxiety. So that the idea is to breathe into your belly versus into your chest. So you're wanting to take those big belly breaths and focusing in on actually taking a little bit shorter inhale and a longer exhale, which can actually turn off our stress response for anxiety. So physically turn that response off so that we're able to be more grounded and present. Um, so that when those things do happen, because life's going to happen, so as life happens, you're already in a space where you're a little bit more grounded. The other thing is thinking patterns. So we often have a lot of people struggle with negative thinking patterns or intrusive thoughts or just negative thinking in general. And it can really result in this cycle of frustration and guilt when we try to really just move on or brush it under the rug. And we're not really acknowledging them. So, one tip I have is to just slow yourself down, maybe with those belly breaths, and observe the thought for what it is. So, you're going to want to label it with a feeling. So, like an example or a big theme that I'm hearing about in sessions right now is people are struggling with worst case scenario thinking. So, really trying to find control in a very unpredictable situation by labeling them in worst case scenario ways. So, I know a big one is school. So, I'm thinking, like, for instance, my kids aren't going to be able to go to school. We're going to have to do it virtually. I know nothing about teaching. I need to work. Like, just it's spiraling. It just keeps going and going to these worst case scenario situations. So really digging a little bit deeper into like, wow, I'm anxious, and just kind of leaving it at that, and then from there developing a plan of how do you usually deal with your anxiety. Do you go for a walk? Do you call a friend? Do you do those deep breaths? It can help us to feel more in control of our situation when we know how to deal with those feelings versus those thoughts and those like spiraling thoughts of, when we don't stop them, they're just going to keep going. So it takes the power away from those thoughts. Another thing that you can use is your supports, right? Like we have supports in family, friends, coworkers, but also creating a team of supports within your community. So, at Breathe now we have physical therapy, mental health therapy, and massage therapy. So that would be a way to really implement that support for you all in one place, which would be great. But also, within the community, there's chiropractors, there's primary care physicians, um, other ways that you can create support. And many times when people are coming to therapy, um, It's simply just because the way that you're responding isn't serving you anymore. So, we're really resilient beings. Our bodies and brains are wired to find out ways to function, but it's not always ideal. So, I'm here to help you. And I know that the physical therapists here and the massage therapists here are here to help you find ways to optimize that and to feel like you're functioning at the best level that you can. If you have any questions or comments, please drop them below. I'll try to respond. And then also, if you feel like therapy could potentially be helpful to you, I encourage you to give Breathe a call and schedule an initial appointment. Have a good rest of your Friday and your weekend.